Hi, I'm Erin and this is my week 3 video discussion. Being able to conduct good professional presentations is really important for so many reasons when you're in a professional job. It is one way to communicate to many people at once. You can deliver important messages or make important requests, such as funding requests. In many jobs, making presentations at some point or another is going to be a requirement. And even if it's not, it's a good skill to have for situations such as business meetings that you're asked to speak at, or perhaps you're doing a job interview, and having some public speaking abilities will help you in that way to be more comfortable. And conversely, some consequences of giving poor presentations can include losing credibility with your audience, which that's obviously the opposite of what you want to happen when you're giving a professional presentation. And depending on who your audience is, losing their confidence could result in some dire consequences. For example, if your audience is your employer and you lose their confidence for whatever reason, it could up to cost you your job. Perhaps maybe not to that level, but also if you're speaking and don't come across as professional or knowledgeable to your employees or clients or potential clients, then it could lose you workers or money. And in a communications career especially, messages are key, so you want to be able to deliver the message that you intend. And so being able to conduct a good professional presentation is key to delivering the messages that you intend to deliver in that way. So some of the best practices that we've discussed so far that were discussed in Dr. Wilson Mumpower's lecture, Presentation Delivery, are the first and foremost to look professional. You want to give a message that you know what you're talking about, that you're an expert in what you're talking about. You want people to have confidence in what you're saying. And as Dr. Wilson Mumpower said, formality is key. So you want to present yourself in a formal manner. And you want to speak clearly and articulate and enunciate. And also not use filler words, as I obviously need to work on. And then use vocal variety. So if your audience can't understand you or hear you, you're wasting your time as well as theirs. So being able to be understood and speak clearly are very important, obviously. I would argue that one of the most important practices would be to be prepared. You want to know what you're talking about so that your audience knows that you know what you're talking about. That's one way to have credibility with your audience. You need to do your homework, do your research on it, practice it several times, and you also want to be familiar with any visual aids or equipment that you might be using so you're not fumbling around with that while you're talking. And in my career so far, I have not actually had to give any presentations, and I'm hoping to keep it that way. But I have had some really good examples along the way. Working for the state regents, Chancellor Glenn Johnson is the chancellor of the state regents, and he is an excellent public speaker. He used to be the Speaker of the House for many years, and he goes and speaks to the Senate and the House on a regular basis about funding higher education. And he usually takes a slide presentation, which is usually about 88 slides long, and he usually doesn't look at notes or the slides. He knows it forward and backwards, and our data changes every year, and he learns it. And he doesn't tell a lot of jokes. He's very professional in his manner, but he's really engaging. He's interesting to listen to, and so he's a real pro in this area. And then another example I've had lately, my boss, Angela Cadell, she's the Director of Communications for the State Regents, and she is actually currently preparing for a television interview. And it's over a topic that she's not actually that familiar with. We don't usually deal with this topic directly at the state regents, but it's fallen on her to do this interview. So she's basically locked herself in her office the last few days, and she's boning up. She's doing research. She's talking to people that are experts on this topic, and she's asked the interviewer to send her sample questions. They obviously might end up asking her something else along the way, but she just wants to be as prepared as possible. And so that's been a great example, and I'm really interested in being able to watch that interview when it comes out to see how that goes. So again, being able to conduct good professional presentations is definitely important for so many reasons, and I've enjoyed this class so far and learning several different aspects to that can help us along the way. So I look forward to watching your presentations, and I hope everyone is having a great week. Thank you for your time.